Today we're going to talk about how we integrate the voices of others into our own writing. And we have a number of things we need to dig into: paraphrasing versus quoting, signal phrases, and how to use MLA in-text citations and works cited entries. So there's quite a bit to cover in this. I'm just going to skim right over the top of most of it, and we can dig in more depth in other parts of our course. So let's take a look at paraphrasing versus quoting. There's actually a really short video I would like you to watch, so you might want to pause this video and exit out and go back to our course. When you're in week 5, under week 5 assignments and materials, if you go down to the quoting versus paraphrasing MLA style video link, you can pull up this YouTube video. I don't think you can access it through the screencast, certainly, that I'm doing, and I don't believe you can access it through the PowerPoint that's embedded here. So go ahead and take a few minutes to watch the quoting versus paraphrasing video, and then meet me back here so that we can talk about signal phrases. All right, are you back? Welcome back. We need to jump into the next part of this. So now that you understand the difference between quoting and paraphrasing, and quoting is when you are using the exact words that the original writer included in his or her article or text in this case, and you're not interpreting it in any way or paraphrasing it and putting it into your own words. The way that you let a reader know that you are quoting is by putting those words in quotation marks. So a quotation mark clearly indicates to a reader, hey, this is not me, this is somebody else. Paraphrasing is obviously where you are taking a quote and removing those quotation marks and instead putting that idea into your own words. The easiest way to make sure that you are not inadvertently plagiarizing at this point is to turn away from the original source. So close the book, minimize the screen, something, and then try to recreate the essence of that idea in your own words. That's going to be important for avoiding plagiarism. So let's move on to how do we let readers know, other than including quotation marks, that the ideas we're including are not our own. That's where signal phrases come in. So a signal phrase is where you are either paraphrasing something, providing a summary, or even including a direct quotation from another writer in your essay. And you want to give readers a heads up. Hey, what's about to happen here is not me, but somebody else. And you can do that by introducing those ideas with something called a signal phrase. A signal phrase, in its most basic, includes the name of the author and some kind of context for what's about to happen. It can be as simple as she wrote, right? Or Smith said. So let's look at this. You use signal phrases to mark the boundaries between what you are writing and what other people have said. You use it to establish their authority. So in our summary response essay, we will already know that the person you're talking about is the author of the article. In another essay, though, you may be introducing Sarah Beth Johnson. And it's important for your readers to understand why Sarah Beth Johnson is an authority for this particular topic. So you might say something like, Sarah Beth Johnson, noted researcher and expert on the topic of XYZ. You also use signal phrases to introduce summaries and paraphrases, to put direct quotations into context, and to integrate statistics and other facts from your outside sources. And really the signal phrase, again, is just the author's name and a signal phrase verb. So these are also called verbs of attribution, where you are attributing an idea to someone else. And there's a list here on the screen that shows many different possibilities or synonyms for said: acknowledges, confirms, denies, comments, asserts. In your summary, you will have some pretty simple ones, and you're going to use them to kind of guide your reader through the summary. So it can be as simple as Smith maintains, or the writer goes on to compare this idea to that idea. So really simple, basic signal phrases for this assignment. And then, of course, since you are integrating the words of others into your essay, as you all know, you need to make sure you're documenting this. Just a quick list of questions here that I'm going to try to answer. So what is MLA? It's the Modern Language Association. It's a professional organization for folks who are interested in languages and literature, those who study and teach in those fields. There's a subgroup of that organization that creates handbooks or style guides that dictate all the rules and requirements for how to document sources and format papers. Why isn't it like APA, you might ask, American Psychological Association, which is another common style guide that college students have to use? It's a different field. There are different scholars. They are different in terms of where they publish, and they've got different interests. So they have different rules. There's so many rules because it covers a wide range of publication possibilities, from essays that you write in a college course all the way up to things published in the most prestigious peer-reviewed journals in these particular fields. You should care because it's part of your requirements, obviously, and it also helps your readers really understand what's going on. When do you need to document? Anytime the ideas or words that you are using are not your own. And now let's move on to talk about in-text and works cited. So in-text is how we document that the ideas are not our own in the text of the essay. Typically, this is the author's last name and a page number if it's a print resource, and that is basically a shorthand link to the works cited entry where you will learn all the information you could possibly need to know as a reader to locate the original source. When do you use them? Again, like I said, anytime the words or ideas are not your own, you have to give credit to the original person. So that would stand for direct quotations that are in quotation marks, paraphrases where you take an idea and put it in your own words, or when you are summarizing something. This is also true for facts and statistics. If you say that 52 million people on the planet eat rice for breakfast, but you don't use any in-text citation to indicate where you got that from, your reader is left to assume that you have indeed conducted that research yourself and have consulted every person on the planet to see what they eat for breakfast and determine that 52 or 54 million of them eat rice. So just something to think about. You need to make sure you are letting us know where you get the information. So if an in-text citation is the last name and page number, and there's a lot more information about this in our textbook and lots of resources online, and I'll show you some of those in a minute. If the in-text citation is the author's last name and page number, what you see here is author's last name, Mullins, and a page number, 248. That would link your reader, or you as a reader, it would link to a full works cited entry that follows a very specific format for the particular type of resource, whether it's a journal article, a website, or a book, or any number of other things. And it would provide all the information that the reader would need to locate that source on his or her own, to dig into for more information, or to check what it is that you are referencing. So in this case, this is an example of a journal article, completely fictional, and what the works cited entry would look like. And again, I'll show you some resources for how to figure all this out. So the works cited page, just one note about that before my video gets too long here. It is the very last page of your essay. So when you finished your conclusion paragraph, go to the next page, title it Works Cited, if you have more than one work, and then you're going to create an alphabetical listing of the sources that you referenced in your essay. So every in-text citation should match up directly with a works cited entry. So for this particular student's works cited page, we would see 3 different types of in-text citations, one starting with this person's last name, one starting with this article's name, and then one starting with this person's last name. So those in-text citations have to match up with the first part of the works cited entry. You'll also notice there's some hanging indent happening here, and the librarian links that are included in the helpful resources section will walk you through how to create hanging indent. And then last but not least, how do you get help with all this? Because we can't cover all of it in a 10-minute video. In the D2L content section under helpful resources, there is a section called MLA format and documentation. I would check out the MLA citation cheat sheet and also the MLA in-text and works cited steps to success that I created for you, and you'll find some other resources there. Your textbook is an invaluable reference. OWL Purdue, which is the online writing lab at Purdue University. If you just Google that, it takes you to the mother of all resources. And then finally, I'm a great resource for you as well. In the last 30 seconds, a quick word about citation generators like EasyBib and Citation Generator Machine. I forget the name of it. Those are great if you understand how works cited entries work in the first place. So for now, I'm going to encourage you to create them on your own. And that means in the future, when you are using things like EasyBib and other citation generators online, you can double check to make sure that it's doing it correctly. That's it for now.